Alright guys, I am filming from my phone. I am out in the crazy mess of a garden. It is snowing, which was in the forecast, and it's more snow in the next couple days in the forecast. Tomorrow's Mother's Day, and for Mother's Day we rented a tractor, and it's been just like kind of a schmess of a wet week. This is crazy. I don't have my big camera out here, I'm just using my phone because snow. So we just finished up, got this bed prepped. This bed I'm in the almost done, and then you can see kind of, I'll show you, these 5 beds are planted already. We have our, let me just show you down here. They're doing, is this funny or what? Okay, so this majority of this bed is Walla Wallas. You can see these ones right here are the starts that I purchased from Bimart or Winco, and then the second half of the bed is my starts from Walla Wallas from either seeds I had or my own seeds that I saved. This next, I was a super responsible citizen and marked them all, so there's a price report. This one is, I know, Red Wing, and the last 2/3 of that bed is leeks by seed, not started. This bed, storage carrots, Bolero from Johnny's, awesome carrot. And this one is a mixture of Bolero, Sugar Snack, and I actually had some purple pelleted, so I just threw them in too. So this is the schmess of the day. Good bed, almost good bed. It has been so wet and muddy that the tractor's been like slopping up the joint. It's better today, and I've never driven a tractor before, and it's a little Bobcat, so like learning how to do all the things is kind of difficult, but learning curve. So there's that. This bed is, all these beds have been weeded, and if you can see some of the big weeds that we have in the weed fabric. And what we're doing is kind of just, I got a giant broom, we're sweeping out the weed fabric, we're putting compost down. I have some compost down here, and these beds will be done today, tomorrow, and we'll get them done. And the goal is to, by the time this whole side, I want it to just look really nice, and I think it won't take long. By the end of this video, it'll be looking good, and I'll show you. And then I'll show you, which you might have seen clips behind me, is the other side of the garden. It's just a complete schmess, and that'll be another progress. These beds have not been weeded or anything, so we need to just, we're gonna pile compost at the bottom of it, and maybe some in the middle, and then we can weed around the compost and spread it. At least it'll be over here. We have our compost right there. There's our pile. So we're having to drive it all the way around and in. And if we have the golf cart or the lawnmower that brings our trailer in, it works pretty good. It's still a ways to go. So even if it's not placed perfectly and spread out perfectly, it still is way easier than manually shoveling it, I mean. And then I have a bunch of starts. It is great to transplant in overcast. Snow, looks like we're gonna get maybe some sticking tomorrow, so I don't really want to plant too much unless I have a bunch of frost cover, because I bulk did it this year. I got a big huge 500-foot roll, which I don't even think is enough, but we're gonna make it work this year. All frost cloths are not created equal, people. Hopefully the wind noise could be terrible. Here comes Trey. He is just playing over there. It's been snowy morning. It's cold. Mother's Day. He looks Go ahead, lift it up. This cattle panel's stuck underneath here. It's gonna whack me. I guess that worked. Thank you. The peanut gallery. Happy Mother's Day to all you mothers. It is, got lots of mothers Happy Mother's Day to you, and you, and you, and you, and you, not you. So this is a giant pile of poop. You can see I couldn't get close to the fence. I was out there, I spent 2 hours out in the pasture. This is where we kind of winter feed. Like, I had an incident with the fence here. That was me. Brain issues with the tractor. It's a lot harder to use a tractor than one might think. So I scraped this up. This is where we kind of winter feed. When the snow's heavy, we throw it over the fence or what have you. And so every spring we scrape it up and compost it. And then we get a lovely pile. Last year we hired our handyman guy to scrape it up. He left it out in the pasture, which is fine. Not ideal for me, but it turned into some pretty good compost. So this is our own dairy, pig, chicken compost, and it's beautiful soil. So Trey's putting it, we have like this first half of good broken down ish compost. There's kind of a bit of chunks. We'll break that up with the rake. And then the second half, the majority of it is hot. So hot compost you don't want to put on your plants right away. The manure will literally fry your plants. So that's what we're doing. So we're gonna move eventually today. We don't want this sitting out in front of our front yard. I think I'm gonna have to get a cattle panel. I have an extra one that's in pretty good shape and replace it with that because I destroyed that one, I think. Luckily, this giant pile of poop is keeping the animals in. Here comes Trey again. We're gonna get all this cleaned up and on the garden today. We have we still have a ton of the store-bought ones too, so we're doing good. And then this year, this will be for either putting down the fall or spring next year. I'm going out here to show Trey where to dump the next pile. He was out here. The boys have their dirt pile. I've talked about this quite a bit. Right here in the corner of our market garden. He was out here building it up for him. Just playing in it. I'm gonna go get me some more extra alfalfa pellets because it's Mother's Day. She needs it. A little extra for Mia. She's losing her winter coat. She looks a little scraggly. Happy Mother's Day, Mia. Happy Mother's Day, Mama Pig. If that's not motherhood summed up in a clip. Yeah, seems about right. This whole area is a sloppy mess, but we are in such a dry climate. This is not common for us. So this will be dried out by Saturday. Guarantee it. It's Tuesday after Mother's Day. Supposed to be planting cabbages and broccoli and cauliflower today in a little bit. Well, probably won't happen today. It's spring in Central Oregon. It's to be expected, I know, but rain would be nice. It's a cold day. It's one of our last cold days in the next week, so who knows what will happen later in May, but yo, snow, snow, snow. All right, it is the 4th or 5th day I have picked up this camera or a camera and have tried to show you progress. We're wrapping it up. It's getting out of control. Okay, have you guys seen the garlic lately? It's doing pretty good. I do want to check in here where the straw is kind of thick because I noticed that's where the growth is lacking. Okay, so I did check and the garlic is under there. You can see it's doing super well on the edges and not so much on the middle. It is here and I'm going to work on this. I'm going to finish up this video and then I'm going to come back and scrape this straw. So they're here and some of them are looking fine and others aren't. So I must have broken that one, which that's not good. But I'm finding it all along here. Like, I gotta come in here. I'm gonna take off a lot of this heavy straw just so it gets some air. Once it gets big enough, I'll remulch it heavily. It's where the mulch isn't as thick is where they are doing really well. So, which I thought was gonna be the issue. You're constantly learning as a gardener of what works, what doesn't work, and all the things. So this bed, these 3 beds, we weeded. Now the pathways are about to get ripped up just like over here, and this one pathway is extremely weedy by the garlic. But we weeded these beds yesterday. We have compost we spread out in this bed halfway, and this bed we're working on. We had priorities. So I got some chicken fence, portable chicken electric fencing. This is Premier One. I really like this company. I started with a Gallagher fence for electric poultry netting, and I just got it from our local feed store. Now I don't know if it was just a cheaper quality one that I bought there, but this was only a little bit more, and that one was like $164 on sale. This was $212, not on sale, but it came with 4 extra posts. That one's only 84 feet long. This one's 164 feet long. So it's way better deal. Okay, so all right, I am back filming on my phone. My big camera battery died. I get worried about the quality. I used to film on my iPhone, and it was an older model, so the quality was definitely noticeable when I switched to my camera. So, but okay, so these carrots, this is the first time I haven't had great success with planting from small seeds, but I use my seeder, so we'll see about that. And then the other half of the bed right here, I'm going to save for Parisian market carrots, which I started to plant yesterday. Well, I was getting the seeder ready for it, and a thunderstorm came in. I have an idea. I'm not going to share it yet, but it has to do with vegetables not selling, and our farm stand. So it's just ideas I'm rolling around until I get it nailed down, I guess, until I have some crops that are actually performing. I don't want to, what if it doesn't come to fruition? What if all the crops fail? Because that could happen. So this half is not planted. You can kind of see the difference. I used the seeder, and this was carrot seed that wasn't pelleted. So I have 2 beds right here and here that are ready to go, just not yet planted. And then I have, these are from all this mulch is from the potato beds last year that got into the pathways that we ripped up, and wood chips from the pathway. So it's a ton of good mulch. And I'm going to be mulching the crap out of these beds, and I'm going to be just using that so it won't look so messy back there. But this is what I wanted to show you. Okay, so here is this trellising system. I think I've probably seen this a lot with flowers, which is great. I'll probably use it for flowers, but this is actually for broad beans, the fava beans. Yeah, they're a hardy bean. I use this for peas in the last few years. It's this cheap netting. It works pretty good. We get a lot of afternoon wind, and it can be kind of a pain in the arse. It was really windy yesterday. So fava beans, broad beans, they're a very hardy bean. They can handle frost. So that's perfect for our area. And our last row is, I did a row of cattle panels, and it's for peas. So because this was our pea trellis last year, it had some damages, which I zip tied. Or just tied, and there was only a few spots, so it was pretty good. I think it'll work great. So we did, I think fava beans like a 9-inch spacing, so we did every other square. And then the peas, we just ran it on both sides, so hopefully it'll grow up good. Oh, I almost forgot about this one thing. Also, this is our first official succession sowing of sunflowers. That's right, the flower farm has started. And so we will do our next succession. You can see this is just the ugly reality of garden prep. It's a mess this year. I just feel like it's a schmess. Have you ever seen this side of the greenhouse? Look isn't it so cute? It's so short. It works. It's nice. It's easy to get snow off if we need to. So this is the back area. We have 3 beds back here. I'm not back here much. It actually hasn't succeeded in too many flowers, except for our wildflowers. They grow. We got some flower pot. We have the wildflowers. They love the greenhouse, and I think it's because of this. But I probably should come back here more so that way they do better. And there is our giant pile of compost. That's fresh compost this year. Hot, like it burned your crops. So this will be our second. We might be able to do 3 successions in here. I don't know. Maybe just a second one. So this is our first one. And I planted all the varieties that I love. And so we'll do it weekly. And there is a risk weekly of them catching up to one another. I just got to figure it out. So we'll do this one next week. We'll do this one next week. And then, I don't know. We got to figure it out. It's just a learning curve. So the goal is to I did this whole first bed as our first succession. And we were not able to sell that many at once. We sold quite a bit. But I just have no idea what the market is going to be like this year. Is it going to be great? Is it going to be more people know about us? So maybe that'll work. This needs to be a separate video, but we had a lot of successes last year and a lot of failures and a lot of kinks we're working out. But as far as this garden prep goes, we're getting the garden in, and this is very important. We didn't plant the broccoli or the cauliflower, which it's doing quite well. I'm eyeballing it in the greenhouse. It's doing quite well, but it just needs to get out. But it's a beautiful day. It's deceiving though, because we have snow tomorrow and the next day. So Saturday, I think it clears up, and we have like a week of nights that aren't freezing. So there's that. Cabbages and broccoli are very hardy. I'm not too worried about that, but so we have so much garden cleanup that needs to be done, so much garden prep that still needs to be done. But this is a big phase. This whole entire right side is I have 2 beds left to plant, and that's it. So that's big. Praise report. We got it in. Yeah. And that garlic's doing good. I just need to go help it out. Anyway, guys, thanks for following along for this week of videos of smorgasbord, but we got it done. See you guys on my next video. Thanks for following along. And yeah, thanks for being here, guys. If you have any praise reports, this is the thing we do around here. It's just kind of like the old churches, and maybe some churches do, where you tell your praise reports. I feel like it's something nice and cheerful to do. It's hard. It's not an easy world we live in right now, so it's always good to hear some praise reports, and I love hearing you guys. It brightens my day. And my praise report is we worked our tails off. We got this done. Still a mess, but we got this half done. And that's what I was really needing to do. So I'll see you in my next video, guys. Thanks so much. Bye.